So in this video we're going to learn the chorus for Bang Bang Bang. This chorus appears 3 times throughout the song and it will stay the same. So once you've learnt this, you've learnt a huge chunk of the dance. Okay, a couple of new moves in this one. So we'll start off with a push step. As you step, you're going to step to the side on the right, and as you step you're going to bring the left hip up so that you've got this movement. So you're condensing the muscles, squeezing the muscles in that left hip. In the side, you let the left heel come off the floor and that hip rises. So back to neutral. So as you step to the side, you let the hip come up and back in. Step to the side, let the hip come up and back in. You don't want to let the upper body tilt, you want to keep that above your hips. So where you are in neutral dance position, bottom tucked under, everything's nice and straight. Even when you step to the side and the hip comes up, the upper body is staying in that same nice upright straight place. Okay? So you step to the side and let the hip come up. And then to finish off the move, you're going to bring the left hip to meet the right hip, the left foot to meet the right foot, and bring the hips back to neutral. Okay? So you're in this position, you bring the left foot back in and bring the hips to neutral. You don't need to lift the right hip up. So you step into the side, lift the left hip, bring it back to neutral. Side, bring it back to neutral. Side, bring it back to neutral. And side, bring it back to neutral. Even when you step to the side, you want to step onto a bent knee. Don't step onto a straight leg because you've got nowhere to go and that's when the upper body is going to tilt. So step onto the bent leg so that the hip can come up and you can keep nice and straight, everything tucked under. So side, hip comes up, back to neutral. Side, hip comes up, back to neutral. Side, hip comes up, and back to neutral. Side, hip comes up, and back to neutral. Let's try that on the other side. So you're going to step onto your left leg. Your right hip is going to come up. The right heel will come up off the floor to allow the hip to lift. Remember to step onto a bent knee. So you're stepping to the side and the hip comes up. So as you step, the hip comes up, heel off the floor, squeezing the muscles to the side. And step. And then you're going to bring that foot in to meet the left and bring the hips back to neutral. So from here, you're coming down to neutral. So step and lift and bring back in. So you're lifting the opposite hip to the leg you're stepping onto. Step, neutral. Step, neutral. Do a few more of those to the left. And step and lift, back to neutral. 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 Okay, so in the choreography, you're doing 2 of those to the right. So as you step onto the right, the left hip comes up and in, and step again and bring it in. And then you're going to change direction. So when you come in, make sure your weight is equally on both feet so that you can step in either direction each time. 2 to the left, stepping up and in, stepping up and in. Change direction, up and in, up and in. To the left, up and in, up and in. Again, up and in, up and in. Last time to the left and in, up and in. So you've got 2 to the right and 2 to the left. It's not continually backwards and forwards, just 2 to the right, 2 to the left. There are some arms to add in here if you want to, don't worry if you don't want to add the arms in, but if you do, as you push the hip up, the direction you're travelling in, the hands are going to push in that direction. So if I just do that facing forwards, they're going to turn through inwardly to push forwards. From the side, push, turning in and up. So you're starting with your palms up, twist the hands back, in and forwards so that the palms are down. Twist, forwards, twist, forwards. So there's a bit of resistance from the heel of your hand as you come forwards that gives that nice push, 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 push. And that's the same whichever direction you're going in. The hands do the same. but you're always putting the hands in the direction you're travelling. So I'll show you that in situ. You've got push and push. So you hit that push as the hip comes up. So you're pushing in different directions at the same time. So up and up. Change direction, up and up. We'll do that again. Up and up, up and up. Okay, so those are your pushes with the hands. Once you've done 2 to the right and 2 to the left, come back to your neutral central position, and we're going to do a camel roll up, or an undulation up the body. I'll turn to the side and break this down for you. So you're in a neutral body position. You're going to tuck the pelvis under so that the spine goes more towards the back, and you've got that nice tuck. Then you're going to squeeze the top of the abdominal muscles in and the chest comes back, and then you're going to lift the chest up and forwards, bring it back and down, release, back to neutral. So that chest bit is probably the hardest bit. So you're pushing up and forwards, back and release. In releasing, you can also release the pelvis, ready for the next go. If you're going to do more than one undulation, you'd want to be back in this position so that you can tuck again. Also, if you hold under, you're in danger of hurting your back if you then step off somewhere else. So you always want to make sure that that tailbone is released. So we're going to tuck under, squeeze the muscles in and down, lift the chest forwards and up, and bring it back, release. And again, tuck under, squeeze the muscles in, chest forward and up, back, release, release the tail. Once again, that speed, tuck under, squeeze the muscles in, up, over, release. Now we're going to make that more into a continuous undulation. So you're going to scoop it under and squeeze those muscles, push forward, up, release. So you're thinking you're drawing like an S shape, and then it's got a little bit of swirl on the top just to finish it off, because you don't want to end up finishing with the chest up, because it's easy to forget it's there and then you can't move on anywhere else. So remember to bring everything back to neutral at the end of the move. So you're scooping up, squeeze, up and back, release, up and release. So from the front, tucking, squeeze, up, lift, release. You want to try and keep the heels on the floor. Don't be tempted to bring them up or bring the knees forward, because then you're going to ruin your posture. So keep the heels on the floor, keep your knees nice and bent so that you can move through those knees to lift the body. Okay, so that's your camel roll, and you've done your 2 pushes to the right, 2 pushes to the left. You've come back to here and you're going to roll up. Make sure the chest comes back to neutral, the pelvis comes back to neutral, and then you're going to lift the chest up and release. Okay, so roll up, up, release. Then you're going to do another roll up, and then you're going to do 2 chest up. So up, release, up, release. The emphasis there is on the up. The release is almost preparation for the next move rather than an up, down. It's an up, release. It's less sharp. Okay, so we'll just run through that again from the pushes. We've got push, 2 to the left, again, and roll up, chest, roll up, chest and chest. The second chests are a little bit faster than the first one, and it fits with the music rather than being on a specific count. So just listen carefully when we play the music and you should hear it. Just run through that again. Push, 2 to the left, 2, roll up, chest, roll up, chest, chest. We'll just try the whole thing a tiny little bit faster and then we'll run through it with music. Okay? push, 2. 1, 2, roll up, chest, roll up, chest, chest. And the chorus actually is 2 of those sections together. So once you've done your chest, chest, you go straight back into the pushes. Okay, so we'll try that with music and see how it goes. I'll count you in. 5, 6, 7, 8, and push. Left. And roll up, chest. Roll up, chest, chest, push. To the left. Roll up and chest. Roll up and chest and chest. Okay? So yeah, the chest on the second one is definitely like a double beat. The first one there's quite a pause before the chest lifts. But keep it nice and smooth, pause, and then a nice sharp up. So you get the contrast between the undulation and then the isolation. So let's try that again. I'll count you in again. 5, 6, 7, 8, and push. To the left. Ready, roll up, and up. Roll up, and 1, 2, push. Roll up, and chest. Roll up, and chest, chest. Okay, so that's the chorus. We've got that 3 times throughout the dance, as I said before. That's quite a large chunk of the dance done. So yeah, in the next one we will teach another little section, and then I'll do a bit of a recap of just the chorus so that we can run into it from that point.